So what was your favorite section or area of trail? Ben and Chris, sorry. And what did you see that would make the best day hike or short overnight hike? So maybe we'll answer our favorite section and then maybe like piece of trail, in each of the 5 sections of the Pacific Crest Trail. So, I mean, it's really hard to pick between Sierra, Desert, and Washington. But I would say for this year, particularly the Sierra were my favorite section, just because of the amount of snow we had. It really was like a winter wonderland, and once you got used to snow travel, obviously the streams were serious challenges, but it was just so beautiful, and the mountains, covered with feet of, who knows how many feet of snow, and just navigating through that, it just felt like it was, I would say, unexpected, and the beauty and the challenge, and it was something special, I would think. And I would think in a normal year, normal snow or low snow year, I would probably say Washington, which is so beautiful with obviously mountains and lush greenery and huckleberries, blueberries, and the heather when it changes to red and fall colors. It's a really beautiful place, but I mean the trail is really beautiful. So
yeah.
Do you like the Sierra too?
I think overall I like the Sierra's best, but I really enjoy Washington too.
Yeah, and there's something about the desert, like a stark beauty that none of the other sections had, and something really special, and the wildlife you see there and the cacti. I wouldn't say it was my favorite section, but there's something about it that sticks with you, and that speaks to it, where it's you just have to be there to experience it. So favorite sections of trail, I think we've talked about so there's a section coming out of Idlewild where you take the Devil's Slide Trail up to the PCT, and you're going kind of from like a deserty environment up to kind of like an alpine-y, like I want to say ponderosa pine and kind of forest, and then you go along this ridge and you hit Mount San Jacinto. You can do as kind of like a alternate to the PCT, so you can go up and summit that mountain, and that's over 10,000 feet. When we were there, it was covered with snow, and I'll throw up some photos, and then you can go down and connect back with the PCT, and then you could follow the PCT back towards Idlewild and then go back to town. So you could do that as a longer day hike with some elevation gain, or you could do like a one-night backpack, but that's cool because you get 360-degree views of the surrounding area.
I think Sierra is really hard to tell just because it's really remote, and I think most parts are not accessible. It's just like a day hike.
But if you had to choose a day hike, where would you choose?
I would say Kearsarge Pass is maybe one of the better options.
Yeah, so you would get there from the town of Lone Pine, and you just turn up and go up Onion Valley, and it's really cool because you can do however many miles you want. So if you park at the trailhead, within about a mile you'll reach Kearsarge Lake, which is a great spot to camp, and if you get a wilderness permit, it's super easy to do. You can camp there, and there's a rock that juts out into the lake, and you can just set up your tent, and you have a beautiful sunrise. You can keep going and you'll pass other lakes, and in about 4 miles, like Bedazzled said, you'll get to the top Kearsarge Pass, which is 11,700 feet. And that's a great turnaround point for a day hike. It's all downhill on the way back. But if you want to, you can go over the pass and you'll be in Kings Canyon National Park. And if you get a permit, for that, which is easy as well, you can camp at Bullfrog Lake. But you get great views into the Sierra, and you kind of get a taste of what they're all about. And it's just it's a great hike. We actually went back there after we finished the trail at the tail end of a road trip, and we hiked up to the pass and then hiked back and kind of said bye to the PCT. So I definitely recommend that in the Sierra. So in NorCal, where do you think is a good spot?
So I really enjoyed, it might be like 10, 15 miles out of the town of Mount Shasta. So it's a little bit of a climb, but then you like just like stay up on the ridge and have like really good views on Mount Shasta and Castle Cracks.
Castle Cracks.
There were some really good campsites up there too.
I'll throw up some photos. That was really good.
Yeah, I would recommend that section.
Yeah, for NorCal, yeah, it was good. For Oregon, there's a lake called Summit Lake, and it's in the Sky Lakes Wilderness, I believe. And there's Forest Service roads where you can get right to it, so you can almost just drive up and park, and then there's camping around it. Don't stay in the Forest Service campsite. Keep walking around the lake and you can find some other hidden spots. And you can do hiking around there on the PCT, but that's definitely a great spot to hang out or camp, and you can go swimming. It's beautiful. And what about for Washington?
I think one of the highlights, not only of Washington, but also like of the entire trail, was definitely Goat Rocks Wilderness. So we camped just kind of like below the summit of Old Snowy, which was really pretty. So I would definitely recommend that.
Yeah, so just to elaborate, you get views of Mount Adams behind you, Mount Rainier in front of you, a little bit of St. Helens, I think, and in the distance, and Old Snowy right behind you. And we were there in Labor Day weekend, and there were, actually not in that section, but there were tons of people coming up to hike, so it's not too far from the parking lot, and it's really one of the best views on trail you can have.
Yeah.
And then just in addition to that, there's a place, I believe it's around mile 2517 on the PCT, near Mica Lake, and you just have the North Cascades unfolding behind you and stretching out before you, and Glacier Peak to your right. So I think it's Glacier Peak Wilderness, and it's just really one of the best views again on the trail, but you're gonna have to earn it to get up there. There's no easy way. You're gonna have thousands of feet of gain and loss to get there, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
And even staying up there, same spot 2 nights, I think, is totally worth it. So those are some of our favorite, I guess, kind of backpack day hikes sections on the PCT. How are you feeling physically after walking so long with that heavy pack on your back? For me, it's actually weird not to be walking. That's more of the kind of transition back. Definitely my feet, like you feel it each morning when you wake up and step on the ground, and like you have foot pain until like the muscles warm up in your feet. But that, we had that on trail. But my body definitely wants to keep moving, and to not be moving the same pace or as many miles has been kind of weird, but I haven't had any serious lingering negative effects. You have anything to add? Okay. How is the transition back into the front country? And Bedazzled and I have actually kind of delayed that transition a little bit, because after the trail we went to Vancouver, and we flew back to Southern California, and then we went on about 2.5, 3-week road trip where we went to Grand Canyon for about a week and did a rim to rim to rim hike, and South Rim to North Rim and back. And then we went to Zion and Bryce, where we did a backpacking, a 1 day or 1 night at each place. And we went to Death Valley and summited the highest peak there, Telescope Peak, which is above 11,000. And then, like we said, we went back to Kearsarge. So we've kind of been, that's like our buffer to kind of ease back into normal life. I think just going back to work, or just coming back to New York City or something, it would be really difficult. It's hard to be around so many people and so many noises, and it just reminds you of what you're missing by how different, I guess, life in a civilized, kind of city place is. So that could have been jarring, but we've kind of been easing into it, which I think has been really good.
I definitely feel like I haven't had that transition yet. So.
Yeah, and Bedazzeled's going to go back to Germany, to Berlin, and start university. So that's going to be a shock. And I'm going back briefly to the New York City area, so I'm sure I'll be like, you know, like running for cover. But it's kind of good to like slowly ease back into it. Yeah, so I think we're both happy with our decision. What is next on each of your bucket lists?
Well, I have to go back to school, so I like to finish that, but I feel like I'm definitely not done with long distance hiking. So I feel like I'm maybe not soon, but in a few years I could see myself doing another long trail. So I just like that lifestyle and too much not do it.
So many things on my to-do list out there, but definitely I want to do in Sweden the Kungsleden, which is like 200 something miles. It starts in Sweden in the Arctic Circle and then goes south. So I'd love to do that maybe the next year, and then possibly with my mom the Haute Trail in France, which is in the Alps. And it's like I guess you can go from hut to hut to hut. So those two trails are super interesting to me. Okay, Rick wanted to know what's in the store for me and Bedazzled, any future thru hikes. We're both definitely interested in the CDT. So we might do that together. We're not sure. That would be in like, 4 to 5 years. So if everything lines up perfect, we might start that together. And then the Kungsleden in Sweden would be great to do maybe next year if her university break lines up. But who knows? I'm sure there's more adventures for us together in the future. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. And then also, thank you all for coming along. You really kept me going as far as your comments go, to not to give up, and I'm really appreciative because now I have this great journal for not only for myself, but if it adds value in any way to your guys' lives, that's something special. So thank you again for that. And Lynn and Betsy asked if I had some favorite photos, and I'll throw them up now in an ending slideshow.